Hello, my friend. So, what happens during the awakening process? So, you're awakening to higher consciousness, higher frequencies, higher energy ways of being. What happens during that process? So, you grew up in, and your ancestors grew up in, a fear based 3D consciousness and energy field. Fear based in anything that aligns with fear. So anxiety, guilt, shame, anger, and such. What that means is that energy is very heavy, which means the energy within you feels heavy and dense and sluggish. Now, when you're young and you've got lots of energy and vitality, you might not really notice this, but you are radiating that out from you and you're creating from that place. So now you've created your life from this heavier, denser energy of 3D consciousness, what you've been taught, your beliefs and such. Now you've been on this path. Maybe you're new to it. Maybe you've been on the spiritual inner growth path for decades even. And you want to create from a higher frequency energy field. That's the awakening process. And there's a part of you that, see, sometimes when you experience it, the awakening, you can think maybe you're doing something wrong, or that it's too hard, or it feels even, it's like a part of you is being released. It can almost feel like a part of you is dying off. You're not dying, but it can feel that way because that heavy energy is being released. There are ascension symptoms you can feel along this path of awakening. Some of them is, it can be, you can feel pain. Now, if it's pain that goes on for weeks and months and years, that's different. But if you go through a big energetic shift within you, what that means is energy starts to flow within you. And if energy has been stuck and stagnant, any spots where it's just kind of stuck, it's not moving, and the energy starts to flow. As that energy flows within you, it will reach that point where your energy is just stuck, sometimes in joints. And it can be painful for a few days or even a little bit longer as that energy that's moving busts through that stuck energy within you. Now, of course, if it's longer than a few hours or a few days, you want to see what's going on there. But sometimes the process of awakening can be temporarily, physically, it can cause pain within you. But remember, that's temporary. And what it also does, it brings up trauma, stories you've told yourself, experiences that have been heavy and dense. And that can bring up a lot of grief, sadness. So you feel like maybe you should be feeling lighter or happier or joyful. Yet all this heavy stuff is coming up. Just like energy moving through any blocked areas in your body, your physical body, all this emotional energy has to come up to be released as well. There you go. Take a deep breath in. Let go. So any ways in which you are doing this, you believe you are doing this spiritual path incorrectly, or that somehow everybody has it easier than you, and they're just flowing through all the heaviness, let's just let that go. There you go. There you go. There, your heart chakra just opened up. There's some happiness bubbling up. All the ways you believe there's a certain way to do or be or release on this path of awakening. Again, that goes to, I'm not doing it right. Just let that go. There you go. Just let it go. As you awaken, and let's say you release a lot of heavy energy within you, so you've gone through a transformation. Maybe you've listened to something, maybe you've gone through a workshop. And let's say you've gone to a workshop or you've listened to something online, and you feel so much lighter, you feel so good. And then shortly after that, hours, days, weeks, you start to feel heavy and lethargic, and you're saying, what's going on? I felt so good. That's the energy moving through you. And it takes a lot of energy to do inner work. It takes a lot of energy to move energy through you. Because it's energy and we're not aware of it 24/7, we don't even realize how much energy. It takes the brain a lot of energy to process. You are changing beliefs. Often they're ancestral beliefs. You're changing thoughts. You're changing your emotional energy. You're transforming it into a lighter frequency. And when you first experience that, yes, it can feel amazing. It's like being in a meditation. Oh, it feels so good, and you're peaceful and you feel light. But what's also going on there is all that heavy density within you is getting stirred up and moving. And it needs to move on out. So there can be a temporary hours, few days of feeling lethargic, heavy, tired. Like I said, even temporary pain as that energy flows through and releases any energy blocks within you. But it doesn't mean you are doing or walking this path incorrectly. It means you're moving a lot of energy. And you are moving into higher frequencies and higher consciousness. But be kind to yourself. When we're on this path, we all go through times when we feel amazing and times when that energy is moving through, and it can be exhausting. There you go. Take a deep breath in. Let go. Now, let's say you've listened to something, a speaker, something really, really deep, or you've been in a deep meditation, or you've gone to a workshop, whether it's online or in person. And now this energy is moving through you. And if it goes on for, sometimes that can feel like a bad cold or even a flu, but it just goes on and nothing, you're not moving on from this. That means something is stuck within you. So whether it's, let's say you changed a lot of beliefs around, maybe it's around money, or it's your health, or it's relationships. If you're not moving through that and you're still feeling heavy or exhausted or even sick, the cold or the flu, something like that. And if you can get stuck in that. See, if the core belief is still there, then you can stay stuck in that. So there's something else. There could be something else that has kept you stuck at a certain level, which when you figure out what that is and release it, then everything will release. There you go. And take a deep breath in, let go. So know that as you're on this path of awakening, there are times it can be exhausting. It can feel like a part of you, depending where you're at, it can feel like a death. But it's not you physically dying. It's the old ego part of you or the unconscious conditioning that is being released. Remember, if you get stuck in that, then there's something more. And what's coming up right now is as that part of you is released, remember, you're not dying. It's just a very familiar part of you and your ancestors that is being released. Remind your mind, your unconscious conditioned self or your conditioned mind, that it's still necessary. See, one of the reasons we resist awakening and we resist letting go of what's no longer necessary or what is even dysfunctional or toxic is because your ego mind, see, your ego mind is trained as a child to keep you safe. That's its job, is to keep you safe. And the ego mind believes that if you let go of everything, what you've been taught, and you release that, then the ego mind goes, well, I'm not necessary any longer. So that's why it feels almost like a death sometimes. The ego mind thinks it's being killed off. And then it goes into resistance. So then you resist the awakening and the change. But tell your ego mind it's still very necessary. See, your ego mind, or it can also be called the unconscious conditioned self, is necessary for all those unconscious behaviors you do every day that you learned as a child. So you learned it. It was conscious at first, you learned it, and then it became unconscious. Talking, getting dressed, driving, eating, dressing yourself, how to interact with others, hold conversations, writing, typing, anything like that. All those unconscious behaviors that you just do. Imagine if you had to teach yourself how to pick up a glass of water and drink from a glass of water. You had to learn that as a baby. But that is still part of your ego mind. So ego mind, we're not trying to get rid of you. We're not trying to kill you off or anything like that. You're still necessary. It's just a matter of changing beliefs, shifting them so that you are aligning with higher consciousness beliefs, thoughts, and emotions. You want to align with a higher frequency emotional field. There you go, your whole self relaxed. There, your sacral chakra release the tension. There's some fun and laughter, and the child within you feels very, very happy right now, your inner child. Okay, let's just see if there's anything else around awakening. Ascension symptoms. Well, fatigue can be one of them, but remember, if you're stuck in it, whether it's fatigue or pain or anything like that, then know that you have to go deeper. There can be something deeper there. It can be how things smell, how they taste. That might change. You notice how you feel about certain people or certain things, where before somebody's behavior didn't bother you, you didn't even notice it. Now you just have no tolerance for that because you're moving into a higher consciousness and higher emotional frequencies. So there are ascension symptoms along the way. You notice you walk into somebody's place and you're like, oh, I never saw the colors in that painting before. It's beautiful. You notice colors that are of a higher vibration. All color has vibration. So you notice things and people that are radiating at a higher frequency. There you go, your whole self relax. Okay, there's some happiness bubbling up and flowing within you. So shoka basa wala sa shoko babaka, so shoka basa wala ka. Awala sa so shokabasa tukabase so ko so shokabasa wala ka. Awala sa so shokabasa babaka so shokabasa wala ka. There you go, my friend. Namaste.